Warning, there is a good chance Bitcoin Mike has no idea what he's talking about. Do your own research. Enjoy the show. Thank you. All right. We got Bitcoin above $18,000. Ethereum coming in at $13.90. BNB at $2.82. And Cardano hanging out at 32 cents. Let's see where Mr. Thito. Avalanche rose up today. I'm not a big fan of Avalanche. I'd be trading Avalanche, but not a long-term hold for me. VeChain back up to 18,455, so just under 2 cents for VeChain. And Cardano is, not Cardano, Theta, 83 cents. So not too shabby. All right, things are looking good. So basically the stock market today is up 200 points. And that pretty much took Bitcoin up as well. The CPI numbers came in pretty much exactly where they thought they were going to be. So we're seeing a little bit of a rally. I wouldn't be surprised if the stocks kind of dump at the end of the day. But Bitcoin is up. Everything's looking bullish. The big news today, and I've kind of been talking about this for the last couple of weeks, how for one, they came out with a story yesterday saying that over $5 billion was found regarding FTX. So basically, even with $5 billion, you could probably pay everybody back at least half who lost money on the exchange. And Sam Bankman-Fried came out this morning. He'd had a bunch of tweets. And he thinks that FTX.US is completely solvent, which I've been saying ever since this whole thing collapsed, because FTX.US is a US-based company under US regulations. And what I think happened was when FTX International got shut down, they basically just threw everything out with the bathwater and they shut everything FTX related down. But we'll see what happens. But Sam Bankman-Fried did a little bit of a tweet storm this morning. He pretty much said, FTX recovery possible if sold as a going concern, according to SBF. Sam Bankman-Fried sees potential for FTX to recover and return funds to customers. Well, yeah, if they already found $5 billion. I mean, come on. Sam Bankman-Fried confirmed that he still believes there is a future for FTX in the tweet. Well, I don't know about that, but I could see FTX getting bought out. Like if they come up with like $5, $6, $7 billion, I could certainly see some other exchange buying out FTX. I mean, as far as FTX as an exchange, it will never be like it was, but it could be bought out by some other player. As SBF said that selling FTX as a functioning business is and always has been the best recovery scenario for customers. He also referenced the ongoing argument that FTX.US should be able to return funds to customers as it was allegedly solvent at the time of Chapter 11, which is what everybody's been saying. I mean, there was never any hint that FTX.US wasn't solvent. Even before FTX got shut down, the CEO or whoever was running it, the president, basically came out and said, everybody basically just close out your accounts. He was basically just telling people, close out your accounts and take your money off, because he knew that they were probably just going to shut down FTX.US because of what was happening with FTX. And this was a few months ago. The bullish sentiment toward an FTX recovery appears to be playing out in the price of FTT token, which is up 45% over the last 48 hours. Yeah, I mean, that's definitely a trade, but I wouldn't be holding any FTT token. Even if FTX does come back and it gets bought out by like whoever, like Binance or something like that, FTT will not be worth anything. Attorneys working on the FTX bankruptcy recently confirmed that $5 billion had been recovered. However, entities that can receive payment from FTX are those involved in the liquidation and key suppliers who are required to support the process. In the statement that SBF intended to read to Congress in December before being arrested, he claimed that FTX bankruptcy proceedings were part of a conspiracy from lawyers to take hundreds of millions of dollars in fees rather than making customers whole. You know what? That might be possible, because now all the lawyers are involved in this. They're getting paid millions of dollars. And think about it. The one guy in charge of the liquidation, who's the guy who did like Enron, I think he's making like $500 an hour or something like that. So he's already built out millions of dollars. And this is just taken away from customer funds. So I don't know. Everything with this whole FTX thing looks shady. Sam Bankman-Fried looks shady, and basically everything happening with the Bahamas looks shady as far as them taking funds. The attorneys are shady. Everybody's shady, and that's why it kind of is one big mess. However, the route to recovery is not currently clear. The bankruptcy proceedings focus on managing myriad silos. What the hell is that? Managing myriad silos of funds and dealing with the poor accounting practices that were primarily managed using the customer's accounts via QuickBooks. So basically, they were very disorganized. They were using QuickBooks for everything. And that's, I guess, all the money just got lost. I don't know where they found it. Maybe it was hiding under Sam Bankman-Fried's mattress. But hey, look, they've already come up with over half the money that they needed. So they're, I mean, if you hold a lot of money on FTX right now, there's a good chance you're going to get at least half of it back. So very cool stuff. That's the Sam Bankman-Fried news and the FTX news. The plot thickens, but everything is looking kind of good. I mean, as good as you could expect it to be. I mean, look, I mean, if FTX.US turns out to be completely solvent and most of the money gets paid back on FTX International, some other company's going to come in here and buy FTX. So I see that happening soon. Okay, Gareth Soloway was on Crypto Banter this morning. As you guys know, I'm a big fan of Gareth Soloway. He pretty much called this $18,000 pump where we're at right now. He knows his stuff, and we're just going to play a few snippets of him on Crypto Banter. Of course, he thinks that we're going to get a short-term rally, and then we're going to basically see ultimate lows in the coming months, and then we're going to go bullish the second half of 2023, which is pretty much what I've been saying, but, you know, there's no guarantee that's going to happen.
Bullish or bearish this year? Let's just get straight into it.
Bearish in the first half, bullish in the second half. So I think right now we're getting a beautiful January effect rally, which is where tax loss selling's over. The charts were beaten down. There's a kind of a resurgence of bullishness here. It's an awesome move up. I'm participating in it with some Bitcoin action, although we are getting into resistance here on Bitcoin's chart. So this is the next big test. You can see how price broke out above this downsloping trend line. Look at that beautiful float to the upside. But now this is your next test at around 18,400. So again, I don't know if it'll break through. Overall, I still think there's probably more downside to go on Bitcoin before we finally bottom. But again, second half of the year, I'm very bullish.
Okay, so tell us why is there a split between your first half and your second half? Why are you bullish on the second half and bearish on the first half?
Yeah, bearish on the first half because I still think equities, meaning stocks, are still the preferred investment method, meaning that people still think the Fed may not push us into recession. Even if they push us into recession, people are still under the guise that they can rescue us by printing money and lowering rates. I think by the second half, we start to recognize that we're going into a recession in the US at least, and probably globally, and the Fed can't print money because inflation will remain above 2% for the foreseeable future. So what that's going to do is it's going to force people to say, okay, well, if stocks are not making the money because consumers are not buying their products due to a recession, where is my ultimate option? And that's going to be Bitcoin. And I think, again, once we get regulatory kind of clarity here, that's going to become a big investment option for institutions.
All right, so there's old Gareth Soloway, and the funny thing about that, or not funny, but you know, Gareth Soloway has been pretty much bearish for the last year and a half on Bitcoin. I mean, he was basically doom and gloom. Nobody believed it, and you can kind of see the light at the end of the tunnel now. Now we're kind of not at where it was this time last year. He's like, oh my God, it's over for years and not looking good. Now he's pretty much saying, okay, second half of 2023, which essentially is 5 to 6 months from now. So if you're not accumulating Bitcoin now or cryptos or your favorite altcoins, I mean, why are you even in this market? like we're towards the end now. We're approaching the top of the cliff. So, and of course, now you see with this pump, I mean, this pump could go to $20,000. I don't think it will. I'm shocked we're even holding above 18,000 right now. But as soon as the stock market turns, I think Bitcoin's going to be right back down to 17.8. And a lot of these altcoins are going to tumble. I just don't think we're there yet. I would consider this to be kind of a fake out. But regardless, things are looking good. There's no question in my mind that the Fed is going to pivot, at least in the next couple months, in the next 3 or 4 months. And everything is going to coincide perfectly with that Bitcoin happening. Stocks are doing well. Coinbase is doing well, like I talked about yesterday. GBTC. I mean, everything is just basically rocking and rolling. So you got to be accumulating cryptos now. All right, other than that, folks, that was it. That Sam Bankman-Fried news is really interesting. Like I said, if you have money on FTX.us, I think you're getting it back. I think you're getting all of it back. And it's possible even on FTX International, you get most of it back too. So market's kind of chilling. Bitcoin doesn't want to go above 18,300. We've kind of been in this range since last night, since we broke 18,000. If we break 18,400, I mean 19,000, here we come. And these altcoins are going to rip. Unfortunately, a lot of these altcoins dropped 20, 25, some of them up 30% over the last week. If we do get that big dump in Bitcoin back down to 17,500 or something like that, a lot of these altcoins are going to get hit pretty hard, which is why I wouldn't be buying any altcoins right now that have pumped hard. I think Cardano is still cheap at 32 cents. It really didn't pump all that much. I mean, Cardano was at 26 cents. Now we're at 32. I mean, some of these altcoins are definitely a buy still. They really didn't pump all that much. I mean, Matic, I think Matic is just too high at 88. I mean, it's just, I don't know. There's too much hype around Matic right now. I always say the crypto banter curse. And Solana's pretty much been hanging out right here. When Bitcoin dumps back down to 17,000, Solana's going to be one of the biggest dumpers. Watch and learn, folks. Anyway, that's pretty much it. Things are looking pretty good. I'm following the stock market news, and everybody's a lot more bullish now on the stock market. A lot of people are expecting doom and gloom, and that's why when everybody's expecting doom and gloom, it's never as bad. Like if you go back 4 or 5 months ago, I remember this saying, "Oh, the war in Russia is going to cripple Europe in the winter. People are going to be on the streets frozen to death. It's going to kill thousands of people." And now I just heard a story that they have an overabundant supply of gas and natural gas and oil in Europe. So it's never as bad. It's never as bad. So whenever you hear somebody give you like a doom and gloom story, it's like 30% that. So, but people are playing that into the market, and that's why everything crashed so much. I still think we're in recession. I still think the stock market has a big leg down. I still think Bitcoin's probably going to see $15,000 again. But do you know what? Who was talking about this? I forget. I did a video a couple months ago where some big investor was pretty much saying, we could have a situation. I wish I could think of his name. But, Michael Berry. Michael Berry was saying this. He was saying, you know what? Things could go very, very bullish in 2023, where even like Bitcoin goes back up to like $60,000, $70,000. Cardano goes up to $3 or $4. Like stocks go crazy. And then the inflation kicks back in. And the Fed has to basically do all this all over again and go even harder. And that basically leads us into a full-blown crazy recession. So that's what I'm saying. There's multiple roads the market can go down right now, especially for Bitcoin. Is Bitcoin going to go down the dump to $15,000 and then hang out there for a few months and then go up? Well, that's what a lot of people are expecting. Well, a lot of times Bitcoin doesn't do what you expect. Or is Bitcoin going to go up from here up to $20,000 and then $25,000? And then we get better news in the stock market and Bitcoin's back up to $60,000. And then everybody gets completely bullish. They're like, oh, $100,000 is coming. $10 Cardano is coming, and then it dumps from there. So that's why with me, I'm ready for every scenario. So I've already said this with Cardano. When Cardano hits $2, I'm going to take profits. When it's $3, I'm going to take profits. And $4, I'm going to keep selling. Same with Theta. Every level, I'm going to be taking profits because this market is so irrational, and everything's so crazy right now. It's all a guess. It's all a guess. So I don't know exactly what's going to happen, but things are looking good today. And we're basically in a situation where I wouldn't be surprised if Bitcoin dumps down to $15,000 next week or shoots up to $25,000 next week. So if you're sitting there on the side just waiting for that $8,000 Bitcoin, I don't know, folks. I just think that's a losing strategy. Like I said, you're crazy if you're not in the market right now, at least cost averaging. All right, folks, like and subscribe. Talk to you later.